Are you tired of high taxes, insane traffic, and just people with attitudes? Trust me, I know. I had to get out too. If you're thinking about moving out of the Northeast area, specifically areas like Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and you have North Carolina on your radar, well, before you officially make that decision, you're going to want to hear about these few things about North Carolina. What's up, family? It's Roney Polynice here. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. And while I have your attention, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, the bell, so you are notified every time I do a video sharing with you exactly what it's like to live, eat, sleep, play, all in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, just as I enjoy making these videos for you, I am a licensed realtor. So if you have any questions, you need help relocating, that number that's popping up right there, make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email. Day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember one thing. I got your back in this market. Now, let's get right into it. So ultimately, how is the culture? How are the people? As I mentioned a little earlier, just before starting this video, people with attitudes, I'm sorry to say, but I've experienced it myself. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of blood. There's something in the air that's going out up in Northeast that intends everyone just has these sort of bad attitudes. I don't know. When you look at them the wrong way, they start talking to you really bad. But that is not something that I've experienced here in North Carolina. Of course, you're going to have individuals like that in general. You can't stop that. But for the most part, I've experienced people waving to me more than anything. People even saying, hey, how's your day been? Or better yet, when they're walking their dog or they're running, you'll have individuals like that just, kind of walking past you and just giving you a nice little wave. Now, if you don't like that, now maybe this is why you don't really consider moving to this area. But I will say for sure you're going to experience friendly personalities here. People are welcoming. They have conversation with you. And if you are a type of person where you're okay with going out and you can have conversations and, you're not kind of that person that's like, hey, why are you looking at me? Then, you guys would be just fine here. The personality, the culture here, in my opinion, it's uplifting. Now, I got to add on to it. Even though you have those friendly personalities, it's not as diverse as your big metro cities like New York. I mean, you have New York that has something called Chinatown. Well, it's not something called Chinatown. They have Chinatown, in which it's its own little diverse culture, in which you can go there specifically for anything within that culture. But you don't really have that here. Everything is just spread out, spread apart. And you're going to have certain areas that give you that little feel in here and there. But you're just going to have to drive to those specific areas. It's not like one central location which like Chinatown offers you, where you just go there and you know exactly what you're going to get. Nor do you even have 5 different boroughs that's going to give you a different feel, different type of people, different type of attitudes, different type of hustle. You're not going to have that here. You're just going to have a bunch of cities that surround Raleigh that I will say for the most part, yes, it may give you a different feel, but ultimately, they're all attached. They're all the same. I don't really see a big difference. Maybe the environment is going to be different, but so much of the people, in my opinion, North Carolina in general, is all going to be the same. Now, I would hate to generalize this, right? Because everybody is going to be different, but for the most part, right? The majority. And I can even add that it may be like this now, but it may not be like this forever, because a lot of people are moving from different locations, and honestly, a lot of people are moving from up north. So we may even have that same environment, hopefully not, come down to the south, because I think the south, it's just a different type of climate, it's a different type of personality that you get here. So not everybody is going to be drawn towards this area, which is good, because then we can keep those individuals that don't like to, be so much of a friendly person. They can stay up there wherever they decide. Now, if you're considering moving to North Carolina, I'm sure someone has said, or you're probably going to hear, oh, you're going to move to the country. Oh, it's going to be so slow down there. I will say, from my personal experience, again, living in Connecticut majority of my life, experience in New York, not so much of New Jersey, so I won't really speak too much on this, but New York and Connecticut, I could firmly agree to this and speak on this, that the atmosphere, the pace, yes, it is a slight difference, but it's not a difference to the point where you're going to lose your mind. Everyone doesn't know how to act. No, I promise you, I guarantee you, everyone still moves and operates. Of course, you're going to have some individuals that are moving a little bit slower than others, and that's expected. Now, I will say, if you do like that fast-paced environment, a lot of things going on, a lot of events to go to, and that sort of nature, then you might want to consider looking at the Charlotte market. The Charlotte market is a little bit more up to date, I will say. Not even up to date, but up to speed in terms of what you may be looking for. Now, the quality of life that you're going to get here is going to be completely different, as I've already mentioned. That pace is kind of different, right? That's one of the things. I was able to adjust. I think you can be able to adjust, especially if you're an open person. But the cost of living, boy, oh boy, let's talk about it. You may see your taxes be even lower, right? So those are big things that take in consideration why a lot of individuals decide, hey, I need to get out of those metro big states, especially Connecticut and New York. They tax heavy. I don't understand what their agenda is. But hey, do as you please, live by what you want to live by. Not for everybody, it's definitely not for me. This is exactly why you reach out, because I'm here, and not only that, I can share with you my experiences of what's like be here, so you know exactly what to expect. Not only that, if you are making a good or bad decision moving to North Carolina. But also, when you do reach out, make sure to share a few things about yourself, your lifestyle, and the things you need to be nearby so we can centralize and focus on those areas specifically, and we are not wasting time looking at areas that just truly indeed don't matter to you. How about what is there to really do in North Carolina? Now, I'm going to say the very first thing that I'm going to mention here is important for those individuals who like to go out, who like to stay up late, who like to just be out with their friends, enjoying themselves, partying, doing anything of that nature. I think you're going to have a huge problem, because if you're used to going home when the sun is just now coming up, now you're going to have an issue, because in North Carolina, practically everything gets shut down at 2 a.m. at the latest. And at that point, of course, you got to go home, because there's really nothing open. And when I mean nothing, there's nothing. Not even diners. Like, I'm so used to going to diners after being out, or going home, coming home really late, going to diners, get something to eat, and then going home to kind of finish off the night. However, that is not even a big thing here. There are a few places that you can go to, but it is not anything like New York. It is nothing like Connecticut, where you can either just walk in the street and go get a pizza and just kind of go about your day, or you can go to the diner and grab something to eat just before you go back home to officially call it a night. But who cares about all that? Let's just say you're not that type of person who likes to go out, who cares to even go out, or who even wants to be out extremely late at night. You have a ton of sporting events that go on in the entire area. I mean, professional sports, you're going to have a little bit of them in Raleigh, but you're going to have additional of them in Charlotte, in which you can go ahead and check out there. But I would say in that Raleigh, the RDU area, you're going to have a ton of collegiate sports that you can go ahead and check out. Not only that, but let's just say you are the type of person where you still like to drink. You still like to do that. Like myself, I'm a big whiskey guy. I'm a big bourbon guy. So you see any place that says whiskey or bourbon on the tag or whatever, then yes, I'm probably in there. But there are also a lot of breweries. I'm not a beer drinker, so for those individuals that do, there are a ton of things you can do on that end. But let's just say, you know what, that drinking lifestyle is not for you. That being in the sporting events and sporting environment is not for you. You, in fact, like to spend a little bit more time outdoors and within yourself, right? Taking that peace, that quiet time. There are a ton of greenways. There are a ton of trails. There are a ton of hiking opportunities that you can go ahead and do throughout the entire state. Yes, I said it, the entire state. So despite where you decide to go, you're going to find an opportunity to go hike. You're going to find a trail to go walk, or you're going to even have a lake that you can go sit down and just kind of relax. If you want to go fishing, you can. But even if you don't want to do any of that stuff outdoors, there are a ton of community centers indoors as well, where you can go swimming. You can play basketball. You can play, racquetball. I don't know. You can do all these different things indoors as well. Even though North Carolina has all 4 seasons. Yes, I said it. 4 seasons. Still has those 4 seasons in which you can go ahead and take advantage of the outdoor and the indoor. It's all going to depend on what do you enjoy doing the most. Now, I will say, with the weather and the seasons that kind of happen here, one of the things I will mention is, yes, there is a thing called hurricanes that do happen here. I've never witnessed one that was really bad. I think I've witnessed in the past 4 years that I've been here, 1 or 2 of them, and neither one of them freaked me out. Neither one of them scared me. So you can, operate at your own leisure and prepare yourself how you want to prepare yourself for if one were to happen when you were to move here. Also, snow. Snow is a really big thing from anybody that's moving from up the northeast area. Man, we get flooded. Well, you guys get flooded. I used to, not anymore. You guys get flooded with snow starting from as early as November. I remember there was one time where it happened in October, and there was a Halloween where I was walking through snow. But that doesn't happen as often here. Now, if it does happen here, it's nothing bad. It's nothing where you're going to have to bring your shovel out. In fact, you can maybe even leave your shovel up north or sell it for all you care because you're not going to need it. It snows here, but it doesn't snow that often. And when it does snow, typically Mother Nature does her job and just clears it all away for you. So you don't even have to shovel anything. Now, I'm going to say this with an asterisk because, of course, who knows what the future is going to hold. So if you want to bring that shovel down, you still can. But just know you're not going to really use it as often as if you were still living up north. As I mentioned, having accessibility to the mountains despite where you are, one thing I almost forgot with the location of where North Carolina is, you not only have accessibility to the mountains, but you also have the accessibilities to the beach. So let's just say, for example, you don't want to go ahead and go on the mountains and see the state at a high sky view and just kind of overlook the entire state or the city, wherever it is that you're in the mountains. You can also go to the beach and just walk through the sand and go ahead and have that sun shining on you and hear the waves and do all of that. So that's the beautiful part about where North Carolina is located. It's not too far from up north, but it's also, you still get the accessibility of having the different type of atmospheres, the weather that you may be looking for. I know for myself, that was a very, very important decision for me. It's not being too far from up north because I still have, well, all my family is still up north. So still being able to, within a car ride, within a plane ride, still being able to get quick accessibility to that, it was extremely important for me. For all those individuals that don't like driving, don't even know what driving is, or don't have a license, don't like insurance, car insurance specifically, you're going to hate what I'm going to talk about right now. Because the public transportation system all throughout North Carolina is not the greatest. This is a state where it's very much so car dependent. Now, I will say, here's an asterisk, right? Everything is improving. Charlotte has everything going already for itself. That looks beautiful in terms of public transportation. But in terms of the Raleigh area, there's some improvement going on. It's not the best. It's not as frequent as what you're going to experience up north. But I will say it's something that is in the works. Not too long ago, I actually read that. Yes, they're working on it, but it is even probably going to take a little bit longer because, again, everything costs a little bit more and all that good old stuff that's happening in the world right now. But not to freak you out, not to scare you away from everything. If you're looking for, or better yet, if you need that public transportation aspect, you might want to go look into Charlotte, which it has a little bit more of that going on. However, in that Raleigh area, yes, there are trains. Yes, of course, you have the airport. Yes, of course, you have buses. But it's just not as frequent. It's not as often as one may be used to or experiencing coming from the New York, Connecticut, New Jersey area. And this is why you reach out, because I'm here and I can share with you guys exactly what's happening, and better yet, what you can even expect by moving to the North Carolina area. Because I was once in your shoes and I completely understand having to move to a whole nother state with barely knowing anything. You want to know as much as possible, and this is what these videos are intended to do. It's intended to give you that information so you can go ahead and relocate with the best knowledge possible to know that you are not making a mistake. And that number that's popping up right there, make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember one thing: I got your back in this market.